Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific. Wow. Warning. This video is going to be very negative. I'm allowed, because it is my channel, to have a rant and a soapbox. And because of that, sometimes part of my therapy is getting it all off my chest. You know, I am thankful that I have a few people that I can correspond with. That, when the old TV sets, you had the channel changer knob, and then behind that was that round, and you turned it left and right to get the screen from staticking and the lines to quit waving, and they had all those little knobs to control the picture quality. These people do this for me. They're kind of like, perfect screen. We all need that in our lives. Did you guys know that we're living in a day and age where truth has been turned upside down? Where people are calling good evil and evil good? The lady from Slovenia, we've been talking about this obese issue. She said when she was in high school, some sweaty, overweight, disgusting looking pig of a man, that's my paraphrase, was mean to her and put down to her. And she made an interesting comment that the trolls that get on my site, they're not trolling these ugly, tattooed, fat, pierced, nasty women with their cleavage showing. I need to say some things. And they're not going to sound very Christian, but they're out of my heart. And God's still dealing with me. I have noticed the following observations in my break room. And I've noticed even a deficit in myself, and that I have to learn the hard way. I've always been too trusting, and I engage in too much discussion with people, and I'm noticing today, in the day and age we're living in, that when we hang out with people, even only for an hour in a break room, they start to have an effect on us. After living here in Denver, I have tried to be objective. I have tried to open my mind, and I look at people and I go, boy, there's something really wrong here. I look at the Hispanic community of females, and I find it completely revolting. There are women that, even though some are slender, they're stuck up. They won't talk to any of us white guys. Totally ignore, will not smile, look at, acknowledge. I have noticed that the Hispanic community is very cliquey, very into their own little Mexicana, Chicano world, and they don't care about us. I notice even out in traffic that if I have to honk at a Hispanic male, they think I'm being racist. It's like, no, you're driving like an idiot, dude. There's areas of town that I'm in that are predominantly Mexican, and there is so much criminal behavior and trouble there. I go to black neighborhoods in Denver. So much criminal behavior and trouble there. And they drive bad too. I find the Mexicans to be aggressive and in your face. One woman at work, huge tattoos all over her, drives up in her sporty car with the music blasting. Her arms are this big around. These people are aggressive. They're rude. They'll backbite. They'll gossip about you. They'll shred you behind your back. And they'll be all sweet to you to your face. I can say with reasonable assurance that after living in Denver, I have definitely gotten confirmation that I need to stick to the Asian world. The Asian community out here is pretty closed off, and I'm starting to understand why. They're surrounded by a sea of segregated communities. It's funny, I was reading in the Bible where it says God has torn down the dividing wall of hostility between us and him. It says there is neither Jew nor Greek, male nor female, rich or poor, slave or free, but we are all one in Christ. And yet something has happened today. I told you about the Christian woman who runs the sound machine. When she lifts her arm, all this stuff swings like the American flag. She is stuck up. She is rude. Never says hello to me. I'm supposedly her brother if she's a true saint. She hangs out with women that shred people. Women that don't have a life. Women that get pit bull dogs. Women that drink. Women that yell and scream at Bronco games. One woman who's Hispanic, who's older, everything is sagging and bagging, and she lifts up her arm, and I'm like, I want to throw up. She's got a boyfriend, a Hispanic male who almost run me over one morning in the lot. Overweight, a complete mess, and she walks in like, I'm cool stuff. I'm sexy. These are people older than me. These are people who have the mentality of a flea. And there are times when I look at this and go, oh my gosh, I've been in this place 2 years. And the only refuge I get is when I get out of my bus and leave. I don't think I'm perfect. But a lot of these people that I work with, they're not even as noble as pigeons, let alone turkeys. And I think if you want to soar with the wings of eagles, this is not where you're going to get any of that inspiration from. The Bible says bad company corrupts good character. I have tried to be open about Denver, Colorado, and I've noticed women here are very rough. The white females that are slender and good looking, they're stuck up. They're yuppie-fied. They're caught up in materialism and dogs and SUVs. Nothing there. The black community, I have seen nothing but ghetto behavior over and over and over again. From their slurring and ebonic talk and their tough talk. One woman who I wasn't even talking to, I was sitting again yesterday, a different woman than who I mentioned in last night's video. Somebody asked me to sign a card. And the woman sitting next to me to sign a card. And the woman said something to me that was kind of put down, and I said, you know, you're a piece of work. And I said it playfully, but I meant it. This other woman who says, no money, no honey, and only dates, the joke goes around the room that she only dates dead presidents. I said, dates dead presidents? Yeah, guys with money. It's like, wow. I take a look at her. She's scary looking. Nothing feminine or ladylike about her. Nothing feminine or ladylike in her voice. She's the kind of a woman that would punch somebody in the face. I look at that, and I look at the lady I talked to across the ocean, and I go, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? She comes up to me after hearing the comment I made to the coworker that I was talking to, and she says, you're a peel. I said, excuse me? She goes, you said she's a piece of work. Well, you are. I turned around and I said, you know, that's offensive. She goes, well, it's true. And I said, you know what? I have a lot of true things I could say about you, but I'm not going to risk getting fired over it. You need to stop. And I said it just like that. The ghetto mentality of the African-American woman in Denver is strong. I remember when I lived in the City Park neighborhood, the behavior I saw, the lawlessness I saw. I even came up with a term in the 90s. The blacks, they's got their own rules, and any rule that a white man set up, speed limits, stuff like that, they throw it out the window. Now, Not all black people are like this, and I know that. There's black people that get on my channel and they like my channel. I was even open to dating black women. And I find that they just want to use, and they want to live in this swirling toilet bowl of depression and anger and putting everybody down and blaming all their problems on the white man. And I look at them and go, you know, it looks to me like you brought all this on yourself. The Hispanic community, I find myself repulsed. There's so many obese women in the Hispanic community. And the girls that are slender, stuck up, conceited, mouthy, extremely mouthy. They think they can just freely say whatever they want to me on my bus when they're angry. And I go, my gosh, somebody needs to take these girls over a knee and paddle their butts. The other day, I'm loading 55 students at a stop. I'm watching traffic, and I see a girl walk up the stairs with her chihuahua in her hands, and I'm thinking, are you serious? Because I'm watching traffic and there's too much going on, I let everybody get seated, shut the door, let the traffic clear, walk back to count. Called dispatch. Yeah, a student got on with a chihuahua. Is that allowed? I know the answer, but I wanted them to hear it. 10-4, that is a negative. Thank you. I said, ma'am, I'm not allowed to transport the chihuahua. I can get fired for that. They didn't mouth off to me, surprisingly, but several guys said, just put it in your backpack. And already I was made to be the bad guy. Not because I have rules to follow, but I'm the fall guy. I handled it nicely. I didn't yell. She and 2 other girls got off and left with the dog. I got back to work. One of the Hispanic males come up to me and he says, she brought a chihuahua thinking she could bring that to school. I said, yep. He said, that's ridiculous. Some of the older Hispanic males, the hardworking ones, I like. There's some younger ones that have shown respect to me. So I'm not prejudiced. But I admit, after living and trafficking in Denver, Colorado, I'm getting a chip on my shoulder towards them, the African American women. I've noticed in the black community, even at work, even the most atrocious, bad-acting blacks, Jehovah's Witness women, they'll all talk to them and they'll all be friendly to each other. There's a brotherhood there. Same with the Hispanics. But the Hispanic women, they all side together, but then they all stab each other's backs. As I said, there's a table of Hispanic women that are older, family-oriented, very nice, and I like and respect them. I don't know what has happened. I don't know what has happened when we have a world that parades gluttony, and these women are screaming and yelling for attention. Even a Colorado woman who wants to be naked with all her fat hanging down. How come we're not allowed to hold the mirror of truth up to these people? I want to talk about tattoos because a lot of people are commenting to me about it. I'm going to say something. Though I've seen some tattoos that look nice, I look at women and men with tattoos, pull a bit of traffic light, and the Hispanic males, the white males, the black males with tattoos and spider web all over the elbow, and I just go, you know, it looks like trash. They pay big money for that. For what? I don't understand the obsession with today's generation of people in just destroying their bodies. Women that aren't ladies. Tattoos across here, tattoos down here, on the foot, on the legs. Welcome to trash culture, USA. Hispanic woman with long black hair got a diet. Put blonde streaks in it and brown streaks and fuchsia streaks and whatnot. And oh boy, they just don't have taste, do they? And what's funny is these women are so critical and so nasty to slender white guys like me. They're mean, they're nasty, they're backstabbing, and I've gotten to the point now that even the people that are nice to me, I watch them go hang out with the people that I know are enemies of mine. And I've started to go, I don't trust any of these people. The Bible says a time would come when men would call evil good and good evil, and we're there. More acceptance is given towards lesbians, which we have our fill of them at work. Women that look like men, act like men, talk like men, not attractive, not pretty, mean looking. There's more acceptance for them. There's more acceptance for the fatties and the tattooed, pierced freak circus show women than there is for me. In my workplace, I'm outnumbered. It's funny, there's a lot of places you can go and you will not be hired if you've got all this stuff showing. Tattoos, cleavage. But because we have a hard time getting and retaining drivers, we can't be too picky. People do get fired for accidents, harassment, for missing days, bumping into things, not reporting accidents, and then somebody else sees it and calls it in. Inappropriate behavior towards students, using language around students, whatever. I can't fault the organization I work with. It's the nature of the beast. I actually am seeing fat people's revenge in full swing. And it bothers me. They have no shame, no conviction, and they're like skunks. They just spray all over everybody. We have a woman that comes in the break room who announces her presence at the top of her lungs and yells, "Hi, everybody!" I'm standing there talking on the phone or quietly to somebody, and she's shouting 2 feet away from me. She is rude. She has no couth for anybody. Plays her little iPod full blast, leaves it on the counter to disturb everybody, and I sit there and go, this is a woman who's my age. Has dyed her hair, who shows her cleavage, thinks she's Hollywood, and I take one look at her and go, how did women get so stuck on themselves? How do they actually look in the mirror and think they're hot when they're not? How did they get such high-minded attitudes? Where does this come from? It's easy to say, well, the TV, the culture, that is part of it. But this is all proof that there's a devil. I love it when people say you have no proof, there is no God. And I said, I have a lot of proof. But I also have equal amount of proof that there's a devil in the world, because when you look at intelligent thinking people and that they can actually view themselves as so cool and so hot, you go, where did that come from? A lot of the reason that I'm not part of the circles is because people don't want a guy like me there. And I'm not going to fit in anyway. Like the girl at work saying, what do you do for fun? And then telling me that I don't have a fun life. The definition of fun in the Hispanic community is partying, smoking pot, getting tattoos, having babies, complaining about your boyfriend, whining about some drama, and watching garbage on the media, listening to crappy music. I'm not saying I haven't met nice people at work that are Hispanic. I have. I live in this tension that I'm supposed to be Christ-like, and it's very hard to show the love of Jesus to some of the people I work with. Everything in me wants to go up to that Christian woman and say, do you really think you're a Christian? Have you ever looked at the way you're acting in here? She starts rumors about the workplace. Oh, they're not going to pay us for that. I went and talked to my boss. She goes, that is not true. We pay you for any work we ask you to do. I said, well, so-and-so's. She goes, I have told her not to do that. I can't believe how many Hispanic women will not acknowledge me, say hi, smile, even when we're going within inches of each other up and down the stairs to the lot where the buses are parked. And I just go, wow. I'm going to say something again. I had a conversation with a white woman that I actually respect. And I made a comment to her about somebody who made a comment to me yesterday that I did not like. And I said, I can't stand. She said, I hate her. She said she's a loudmouth, she's offensive, and she is ghetto. And I said, I want you to look around this room and tell me if I'm wrong in this. I said, we white people are being shoved right out the door. She goes, yep. I said, I wonder if affirmative action is going to apply when these communities take over Denver. She goes, nope. She goes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I said, I'm not prejudiced, but I said, they definitely are. She goes, oh, yes. She goes, especially in this room. She's a level-headed gal. Chicano power is more than just allowing a culture to move into the United States and assimilate. They're not assimilating. They're dominating. They're crowding people like me out of the workplace. They're taking over positions of power. They're taking over white neighborhoods, driving their lowriders with their beatbox, bringing their parties and their chihuahuas and their fireworks and their noise and their drama. And white people try to stand against it. And then more of them move in, and the white people say, I'm putting the house up for sale, I'm out of here. Pacific is trying to form a view of how America ought to be, and it's not easy. I have problems with white people trying to homogenize everybody, and corporate America is squeezing the life, inspiration, ingenuity, and passion out of all of us. Walmart is about domination. Corporate America is about domination. White women have all become exactly the same and think according to this little pin of the head of the pin grid. But I'm going to say something very bold. The hate for us white people is alive and well. The kids on that route that I covered yesterday, all of them black, save one from Jordan. Some of them had an edge. And I said, hey, what kind of school is that you go to? They said, it's an academy. I said, is it mostly international? And one of the black kids says, yeah, there's not a white person in it. I said, really? Nope. And the minute he said that, I thought, he's been conditioned that the white man's the bad one. I have problems with my own white community. But I'm also having equal problem with the hatred directed at me because I'm white. I'm international. I love people of diversity. But when any group tries to dominate, push others out, and show hatred and racism, why is it in America that the Hispanic community has become very racist against us? Very discriminating against us. And when they get in power, they're not hiring us. How about the African American community? Go into the Deep South and ask yourself how many black people will hire that own a store, a white guy, just to put boxes away in the back room. And those same people yell and scream if they don't even get an interview and say, oh, they're prejudiced. No, actually, they had so many people apply they couldn't get to your application. Everything is racism. I'm getting tired of Hispanic culture in Denver that thinks they don't have to stop for a school bus stop sign. That thinks because I'm white they can crap all over me. That they can bring their Spanish in here and say this to the American English. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of a president and an administration and a bunch of people in this country being soft on illegal immigration. I'm getting tired of politicians trying to curry favor with illegals by giving them amnesty so that they will always become Democrat at the polls. I'm getting tired of Hispanic drama. I'm tired of the hate and the fat, obese, disgusting, trashy looks of your community. How dare you mock and make fun of a guy like me, who's hardworking, who doesn't do drugs, who doesn't cover his body in tats, who isn't 350 pounds with an attitude. How dare you? This is not what America was built on. If Chicano power is so great and Mexico's so great, get out. Go back and establish your little stronghold back in your own country. But this is America. It's supposed to be a melting pot. And though I don't believe in homogenization, if you don't like the white man, we were here first. Before you. No, not the natives, but we were here before you. And of course there will be an argument about Texas, Arizona. Well, I did my reading on that too. Comes to find out Mexico didn't keep up its end of the bargain on things, and we took over that land, and that was why that happened. Well, guess what? Mexico's taking it all over right now by sending them over in the shiploads to move in. And I'm going to say something. Not all Hispanics are like what I'm talking about. There are some that are quality neighbors. They just want to live the American dream, show respect to the laws, other people's, and mind their own business. Thank you. But there's too many of them that are bringing their drug-infested, nasty ways and destroying the fabric and integrity of this country. I know the white man has done wrong. We've heard that drum beaten for decades. But it's time to talk about the Hispanic community, because this is not a problem we can ignore. Washington refuses to deal with the problem of illegal immigration, and I have a very simple solution. Shut down the base in Okinawa. Bring those people home and have them patrol every square inch. And I'm sorry. Send a message to the Mexican government. We are changing our immigration policy, and you need to start warning your citizens. You cross that border, you'll be shot and killed. And the body will be dropped on the other side of the fence. Not very Christian, is it? Other countries in the world have zero tolerance for Americans accidentally walking over their borders. And we just stand here and turn our backs. For every immigration patrol guy on the border who's got his back turned, 15 million of them are climbing over the fence. Well, he turns around and goes, I don't see anything. It's ridiculous. Hispanics are not interested in assimilating. They're interested in bringing Chica power and Chicano power and stamping out anything that has to do with us. If you don't believe me, look at their refusal to submit to English only. Look at when they move into a neighborhood, how they overtake it. People can't get to sleep at night. We're going to have a party. We're going to shoot off fireworks 3 months before the 4th of July and 3 months after. We're going to let our chihuahuas run all over the neighborhood and bite people. And Hispanics are quick to say, I'll sue you. But when something they do causes negligence to another, they won't pay up anything. Out of the uninsured motorists in Colorado, right here in Denver, a huge percentage of them are Hispanic. They hit and run. They hit and destroy vehicles and leave the scene with their radiators steaming. They've got their own rules. I'll go up and down Federal Boulevard and I'm amazed at their behavior. I've tried to be sensitive. I came back thinking, man, the Hispanic women are probably the closest I can get to Filipino women as far as having some possible similarities. Boy, was I in for a rude awakening. A lot of Hispanics are racist, folks. A lot. Colorado women, they're not good. And then I get the troll comments. People say, well, you're picky. Take a look at me, folks. I don't think I'm hot stuff. I asked for a woman of any ethnicity who's slender, who has energy like me, who has conviction like me, who doesn't do drugs, who doesn't live in that slimy ghetto culture, and I'm being picky? Let's talk about who's being picky. Those fat, overweight, sweaty, gross women I'm talking about, they won't even go out with me. I ask myself, why is that? Well, for a spiritual reason, they're in darkness and they're not interested in me. But let's move on a logical plane. Because most of them, excuse me, most of them are not very intellectual. Most of them are not deep thinkers. They live a ghetto superficial culture. They look in on my life and think I live a boring life. I have more fruitful conversation through this internet, through my channel, and through the emails and phone calls with a few people in Indoquita than I do with anybody in the break room. The most intelligent conversation I get is actually from a couple of the white guys. Interestingly enough. Not the Hispanics, not the blacks. The blacks favor their own. They'll all backbite each other behind their backs, but they'll all be like their buddy, even with the most atrocious, horrible ghetto woman in the place. Jehovah's Witnesses. Black Jehovah's Witnesses. They'll run and talk to the worst of the bunch because they're black. And then they'll make derogatory comments towards me. Jehovah's Witnesses show who their master is. It's funny, I'm a white guy. But if I know a white woman in the bunch is atrocious, rude, and all that, I ain't gonna just side with her because she's white. I'm gonna get away from her. I said in Hong Kong years ago, Americans are not interested in truth. That is true, by and large. There are exceptions. I could not walk into that room. If those women were to hear my videos, they would laugh. They would get angry. They'd call me all kinds of names, put me down. They wouldn't listen to any of it and go, you know, he is right. They're incapable. Has any of you noticed that maturity is gone today? You want to talk about women operating not on logic but on pure emotion. Both of those ethnicities I just talked about, they hit the emotional accelerator right now. Ready to fight, ready to beat somebody, ready to hurt somebody. It's funny, they can walk around hurting me, say things they ought not say, but if I were to say anything to them or if they were to hear what I say, they would just be so angered. It's kind of a one-way street out there, isn't it? The reason I talk about this stuff, viewers, is because I'm getting the word out. Even the trolls that get on my site. The idiot who was blocked promptly, who made comments about somebody I love that were just totally uncalled for. Amazing. One moment. Yesterday, the cement was poured in this room when it's sunny out. I can't go in there till Sunday because it has to cure. Neither one of us knew the guy was coming to pour it. He did the rebar. He wheelbarrowed it from the mixer out on the driveway out here and did it in double time. Guy older than me. Unbelievable. Looks good. The trolls on my site would rather put me down and attack me and say horrible things about me. They don't do this to the fat, tattooed women. No, Satan is alive and well. I want to say something to my viewers because I need to say it and I want to clear the air. I know some of my viewers may be overweight. I don't hate you. Everybody's different. Some people may have metabolism issues and stuff like that. But I'm talking about people that are pigs, obese and can control it and don't, and then have the gall to have the attitude and the arrogance. That just doesn't make sense to me. And then make fun of me and make put downs, and I want to look and go, you fat, ugly, who do you think you are? Fat people got more rights than a slender white male does. A black woman can mouth off and say, I always thought you were weird, but that other guy beat you. Who are you talking about? Another white guy who just started. I'm still tempted to file a complaint. Unfortunately, there's too many people to file complaints on. And they're in the 50% of our base of employees there. And I have to weigh constantly, if you keep complaining when you're dealing with a bunch of unsaved people, they're not going to favor you at all. We live in a messed up world. I'm shocked that a girl in Yugoslavia who is pretty, thoughtful, intelligent, has a hard time getting a boyfriend. She looks in on our culture and is appalled. She said, I got on a site once and it was nothing but fat women with tattoos and piercings and their cleavage showing, and I got off of it. It was so disgusting, so trashy. I wrote her back this morning and I said, that is the environment in my break room every day, and I can't get away from it. My job is different. If I could be in my bus for 8 hours, clock in, leave, clock out, leave, but it's shifts. Routes, break, trips, break. I like my job. I really like my job. I like my boss. I like my supervisor. I like some of the people I work with. But there's a lot of negativity. Pacific, since he's come back from Hong Kong 2 years ago, has gotten an education. And it's sobering and it's frightening. From the minute I leave that workplace and get in my truck, I got to constantly be in mind that I could get in an accident because of these bloody fools. America's being overrun with people who hate us, hate our Constitution, hate our values, and our media encourages all this crap. I look at young Hispanic women covered in tattoos, and they're arrogant, they're rude, they have no manners whatsoever. And I, as a white man, have to take it in the stomach every day. What surprises me is that America hasn't erupted into a civil war. White flight has been going on, and I say we need to stop flighting. And we need to start fighting and saying, we've had enough. If you don't like it, get out. There's the door. We'll give you a free bus ticket out. cheaper than giving you handouts and welfare and putting up with your craziness. I struggle. I'm not racist, but when I see this behavior, I confess, I have said as of late, I'm tired of the Hispanic community. It's found wanting. I wouldn't want to be married to a Hispanic woman. No way, siree, Bob. Some of them that are cute are teasers. You show an interest in them, and they run away and then ignore you. The ones that are ugly as sin on the inside and the outside, they're demeaning and rude even when I ignore them and don't talk to them and mind my own business. They got to come over and dump that hot coal right in my face. I go, if I were to go over to your table and say things that you just said to me, I would be called into the office. In America, people have backed up, and they're letting these people do this stuff. And we're not doing anything about it. Anytime the Denver police have to bust a black person or a Mexican person, and they happen to be white cops, racism. No, you drove your car 80 miles an hour, hit a bunch of other cars, you shot people, and the police were trying to get you to stop, and you didn't stop, and you got shot. Because then you got out of the car and pointed a weapon at a cop. Racism, my butt. Pacific has seen enough. I like Asia. Asia has its problems. But I gotta be honest, out of all the people groups in the world, I feel more comfortable around the Asian people again and again and again. When I go into the Asian restaurant here, they're happy to see me. Yes, I'm spending my money, I know that. I don't feel a sense of family with the Hispanic community. I never would. They keep us on the outside. Not all Hispanics are like this, viewers, so don't run and say, you can't generalize. I can generalize. Ride with me, look out my windshield, come through their neighborhoods, go to my break room, and I guarantee you'll come away going, whoa, this is messed up. Yeah, think? It's funny. They can say and do whatever they want, and they claim our constitutional right to freedom of speech. But then they would watch my channel and be wrath-filled about the things I say. He's prejudiced, he's racist. No, I'm just tired of your behavior. I'm tired of you obese, disgusting, piggy women with an attitude, and then have the gall to put me down when all I am doing is trying to get along with people. It's funny. Some of us white people are going, hey, we're getting tired of this. Just like I told you, somebody cuts you off, you honk the horn, and they get all angry and give you dirty looks and flip you off and yell and want to call. If you didn't cut me off and didn't, you used your turn signal, you wouldn't have gotten a horn. As long as Pacific's alive, I have to thread a tightrope, or I have to walk a tightrope of tension between keeping my job and losing it. I confess that if I had $1 million and I knew that $1 million was secure in the bank, my last day and my place of employment, there's a few people I'd walk up to and say, before I leave, I just wanted to say something. You're a walking garbage can. You are rude. I did not appreciate your comments. You're racist. You're foul. And you give your ethnicity a bad name. I'm out of here. Have a nice day. Tuts. I know I can't change them. But they're changing our culture and ruining it. Destroying it. And I'm tired of it. You want to be prejudiced against us, Hispanic community and black community. Let me remind you of a few sobering facts. Our Constitution was put together by white people. Not Hispanic, not black, not even Asian. People around the world said the Constitution was one of the best documents. Freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms. Where's all this racism coming from? I've heard over and over how the white man's racist, and I've seen some of that. But how come nobody's standing up and saying the Hispanic community's racist? Chicano power only. How come nobody's saying the girls are racist and sexist? Girl power. Girl power? No, you don't have power, girls. You have the power of darkness on your side, but we know where that's headed. We live in an upside-down world. People came over on the great ocean liners across the Atlantic. They left Europe. Hungarian, Yugoslavian, Italian, French, British, Irish, Holland, all over the place, Germany. They came to the New World to try to find success and prosperity and a life. And there were problems. But most people got on board the English-speaking ship. They retained their language, but they went out into the world and spoke English, and at least made an effort. We're allowing the Hispanics to come in and bring little Mexico in here, and that's literally getting in the way of my culture. When my culture has to be steamrolled to accommodate their culture, that's not multiculturalism, is it? Culture of lostness. It's a culture of decline. I wonder if we should talk about the great contributions that the Hispanic community is making to our good of our society. I'm not seeing literature, arts, sciences, or even a godliness coming out of it at all. Nor do I see it with a lot of the black community. I'm not racist, but I'm tired of this stuff. And how come in America that if you speak out against this stuff, you're called a racist? But then they can behave this way and hate on us till the cows come home, and the media is strangely silent about that. White people in our media are ignoring the reality of what these ethnicities are doing. Amazing. I wonder if the women on The View really think that if the Hispanic community or the blacks took over, that they're going to be given a high-paid position. I doubt it. They'll be dethroned and asked to leave too. I see most of the hate coming from those communities, not mine. And I've got a problem with the white man. The white man is arrogant. The white man is about domination. I know all that. But I'm going to say something I've noticed on my YouTube channel. The most stimulating conversations I get, as a rule, are from white and Asian people. There are exceptions. Black woman I haven't heard from in a long time, from Barbados. She knows the Lord. Her mind is open to the truth, and she's intelligent. And that's the difference. If you find a Hispanic woman, or man, or a black man or woman who knows the Lord and who is an intelligent person, you're going to have a whole different reaction. A lot of Hispanics claim to know God through their Catholicism, whatever, and I see no evidence of this whatsoever. They are mean, they are cutthroat, and they even turn on their own kind. I get so annoyed when a woman tells me that I need to cut my hair because it looks like crap, and I look at her and she's gaining weight by the day, covered in tattoos. And I look in on her life going, I don't envy it. And I was attracted to her last year. Now she's getting bigger. And I wasn't attracted to her because of the tattoos. She seemed nice. She had a pretty face, long black hair. Now she's dyeing it. And I go, man, you get involved with these women, you're going to have a deteriorating piece of real estate with that girl. Women get angry when men start losing their sex appeal for them, when they let themselves go, and they stamp their feet and whine like a baby who's had its binky taken away. And you stop and go, if you take care of yourself. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And the only way I can explain all this is Satan is alive and well, and he owns them. Anytime I see any culture, whether it's white women doing what they're doing, Hispanic, black. Pulled up at a school the other day and I saw two Asian girls. She was walking around like a tomboy and talking tough and walking like a guy, and I thought, see, this is all American culture is doing, is it's ruining people. Ruining them. Colorado women are bad. They're just not good. I have nothing to look forward to here on that front. I want to do a shout out to my viewers. Some of you all keep me going, and you encourage me, and I appreciate that. Those of you that heard the heart of what I say, no, I'm not racist. I'm not a white supremacist. Far from it. I'm very international. I'm very comfortable intermingling. Denver, Colorado is not a world-class city. It's a ghetto culture. You can drive down Broadway in Colfax. You can drive in our civic center, our capital, and you see nothing but homeless and dregs and pot smokers and people lingering and loitering and hanging around. And I go, you know what? If you want to see the health of a city, look at their downtown. Look at our Capitol building and look at who's hanging around it. Pigeons crapping on everything. People smoking cigarettes and littering. And you go by the bus stop and you're afraid for your life. Pretty scary. I see a racism here that doesn't quit. I see an underlying undercurrent in the Chicano community that they are against us. They are becoming the majority in Denver, by the way. I think in the schools they're at 58%. I would have no problem with that if they would recognize the fact I'm a human with hurts, feelings, and dreams too, and that I'm not there to push them out, but I'm feeling that they're trying to push me out. Of course I'm going to be against that. As much as Pacific has a problem with the white community, if it ever came down to it, I'm going to join the white man if there was a civil war and say, no, you're not going to annihilate our people. It's not going to happen. I hope it never comes to that. But I'm really starting to see that the great American experiment really hasn't worked. It really hasn't worked. I get a lot of stop arm violations. And I'm going to say something that I've noticed in the Mexican neighborhoods. I get more of them running my stop sign and I honk and they just look and grin as they go through and they play that I don't know the rules dumb look. And I find that, boy, they're either ignorant of our rules or don't care. Mothers dropping off their children from my bus will run right through it with students crossing. I'm like, by the way, that truck, that Mexican woman that kept running it, 3 times I turned in the paperwork. She's in that neighborhood every single day. When I turned in the 3rd one, within a week, I didn't see her truck anywhere. I thought, I bet you they got her. And if they didn't find her, I'd say, shame on the Denver Police Department. I write these things down. And I'm really starting to think I need a cam in my truck. And when I see somebody do something, just hold that out the window. And if they roll down the window, say, you're on YouTube, bud. Congratulations. People are bold when they think nobody's watching or that anybody can do anything, and I'm tired of it. As a citizen, I'm starting to go, I'd almost like to have my truck painted Pacific Ocean Asia, as seen on YouTube. Watch your driving. You may be in my next video. And clearly where they can see camera equipment on it. But we're living in a day and age where people don't even care anymore. I'm tired of the obese crowd. Y'all need to discipline yourselves. Don't ask me to accept you when you're acting like a complete yuck. Nobody likes getting sprayed by a skunk. It stinks, and your behavior and your attitude stinks, and your looks stink, and you want me to accept that? If you're nice, I'll be nice to you, but don't expect me to fall in love with that. Why would I fall in love with an undisciplined woman who wants to make fun of me and my thick glasses? I'm like, really? Are you serious? I can honestly say, viewers, that since I've been working here for 2 years, I have found myself deeply affected by the people I'm around. I'm like, gosh, it's not good. Just some thoughts. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.